We built everything. This is ready to go. Like we've done notice, we've given opportunity, we've everything is in place for this to be finished, except for so
to the people out there listening.
so there's actually two parts of what we're trying to do. First off, we got that from Chevron. Executive branch, you don't get to create law, right? Executive branch doesn't get to create law, so Chevron says, executive branch, you don't get to create law. So now we've got the mechanism in place to be able to remove all the bullshit that the executive branch put in place. What, but we need the second half. We're not going to get effect until we get the judicial branch now to say they don't create law either. So, I want the Constitution back at its foundation. I want what slave owners and slave traders, put into place, because of the first 28 Supreme Court justices that serve on the court, 22 of them own their own slaves. So if we live in a system where judges create the rulings based upon precedent, this bullshit of stare decisis, then don't be surprised if slave owners put into place rulings that fundamentally changed and altered the intent of the Constitution, right? They took what was supposed to be a charter for freedom to the people, and they made it a weapon of enslavement against the oppressed. And it was done by slave owners from the very beginning, and that's the problem. Stare decisis has no place within our society, within our jurisprudence. Stare decisis has to do with English bar, because in England, the king would he would make the law. The law came from him. Therefore, he would grant his agents the ability to make the law. So when his agents spoke, his judges spoke, that was the law, because they were speaking directly from the king. That is English law. Here in America, the judges are bound to positive law. They're tethered to positive law because we, the people, are the sovereign, and we didn't give our agents, the judges, the authority to be able to do that because they're tethered to positive law, because we, the people, control the Constitution, because we, the people, do it through an authentic act of the people in accordance with Special Amendment Procedure of Article 5. Judges do not get to create law. So there's two things that we need to do in order to get the Constitution back in its rightful place, the foundation. First off, we need to remove all the bullshit that the executive branch thinks that they can do based upon their policy, that's outside that their own laws that they create, that they're going to arbitrarily go out and arrest the people and hold them accountable because they want to profit off their illegal acts. We're going to get rid of all that first. And then we're going to the judicial branch, and we're saying to the judicial branch, starting with the Supreme Court of the United States, that you don't get to make law either. You don't get to create law. And when you did in 1887, when you said that you can change the Constitution by permitting the state of California to do something contrary to what the Constitution of the United States says that they must do, and what you did was you removed that provision, Clause 1 Amendment 5, that says that you must have an indictment by grand jury. They removed it, and they put in its place a judge-made ruling. And when they put into place the judge-made ruling, then they told all the states that that's law, case law, and now all the states went out and they created their own inferior state statutes that say, yep, we don't have to have it because this judge-made ruling said we don't have to have it. Well, judge-made ruling is not law, and judges don't get to amend the Constitution. So when the states created a law relying upon something that was not law, that amended the Constitution in other than lawful manner, then every single contract that those states have created relying upon that unconstitutional inferior state statute are all void. They don't even exist. They're gone. So all I'm saying right now is that just as I was telling Robert on our drive here, the problem that I have is that we had founders and forefathers who said one thing and inspired a lot of people to believe in it, but then their actions showed something completely different. We had founders that said that they believed in the equality of all men, that they believed in the equal application of all laws to all men, but when it came right down to it, they didn't do it. And they kept their slaves, they called it property, and I'm not going to buy into the belief that they thought it was property, because if they thought it was property, they would have just inherited it down to their kids or grandkids when they died. But instead, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, they all released their property, released their slaves the moment that they died. So they kept these people enslaved up until the time that it was no longer profitable for them. So I don't believe that they thought it was property. But here's the problem. Our country has been led into that hypocrisy, right? Where we say we believe in one thing, but we're living something vastly different, right? I mean, we go overseas and we say, oh, set your people free because we're so fucking free. But you know what? We don't have any self-reflection to say, are we actually free? right? We walk around, we say, oh yeah, we've got all of these rights, the greatest, most powerful, Constitution ever created. And yet we don't even take a look and see, do we even have those things? We don't. So we have this massive hypocrisy within our nation where we say we believe in one thing, but we're living something vastly different. And what I want the people to decide here is that that's the path that George Washington put us on. That's the path that Thomas Jefferson and James Madison put us on when they refused to do what they needed to do from the very beginning to make all men free and to make all men equal. They refused to destroy the slavery institution because they wanted to profit off it themselves. So I want us today to remove that slavery institution, remove it from its foundation, rip it out from its roots, throw it away, and start this country over. Give us a chance to be able to become what we were designed to be from the very beginning. And the only way we can do that is by stop blaming the system for the judges' incompetence and make the judges actually follow what they're lawfully and constitutionally obligated to follow, because the people made that decision 23 years ago. I want that law back in its foundation, and I want all the bullshit that they built removed. And anybody who has been falsely or illegally or unlawfully or unconstitutionally made into something they were not, I want them to get their fucking lives back. That's all I want. So, and I don't think I'm asking that much.